Hi, Bruce Brown here from Biointelligently Embodied Beings. Today's topic is Beyond Mindfulness, Gateways to Higher Intelligence and Activation. In other words, what do you do to stay the best? Do you have a daily discipline? Do you have something that you do to maintain and monitor your physiology? Because it is your physiology, which is your door to perception. Without the body, you don't see anything. You don't feel anything. So do you have a way to monitor what's going on inside your body, not to minimize your performance, or to clear things up when they bother you? Do you have a way to even identify those things and to name those things that bother you? And when they do you take responsibility for them? Or rather, do you shift blame upon outside circumstances? So here's the problem. Life flows along until we hit a rock. We're like a stream flowing down the river, having a nice flow pattern. All of a sudden we hit a rock, or jagged rocks, a bunch of rocks, and water flakes up, and there's a disturbance or like that, a perturbance. Maybe you'll ignore it. Maybe you don't. Or maybe you decide it's time to clear it out. So how do you do that? First way I like to deal with that is forgiveness. Now, that's a double-edged sword or part to forgiveness. There's first forgiveness of the others, and then there's forgiveness of yourself. I wonder if you ever heard the word ho'oponopono. This is an ancient Hawaiian practice for clearing and healing. And it works on the quantum level. What you feel inside yourself often is a projection of what you do outside onto your reality. So your reality is mirroring back to you what's going on inside yourself. Here's the principle. What I believe, I project upon the world and it reflects it back to me. Example. You have a friend and they said something to you. You didn't like what they said to you. You have a reaction to it. Even if it's a silent reaction, just a feeling. And that judgment that you have put upon that as being good or bad, friendly or not friendly, etc., becomes your reality. And it colors your friendship. And you begin to behave in the world as if what that person said or whatever is true. And it's true back to you. But what if you took responsibility for that projection? And here's the ho'oponopono process. First, I'm looking at the world. This is my world. And I see it and I apologize. I recognize that I have a perception that has caused me to have a certain belief. And I actually recognize that it may not be true. So I forgive. I'm sorry, world, projection. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for projecting upon you this perception of this belief that I'm believing and having a response back to myself acting like it's true. Then the next step is to say thank you. So to get to that step of saying thank you, please forgive me, thank you, you gotta really take time to actually see that picture out there begin to dissolve. Thank you, forces of the universe, for helping me see that and also dissolve it so that I'm no longer seeing that. Thank you. I love you. I love this universe. I love that I have the capacity, and I love that you have helped me forgive that perception. So, first apologize for your projection, ask for forgiveness from the other, and then from yourself. What about the self-forgiveness? That I actually even projected that upon the world. So, I'm sorry I've projected upon my friend I'm sorry. It's okay. I forgive myself. I'm human. I know I want to be different. I don't want to be caught into that entanglement. Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. Thank you for accepting my forgiveness. I love myself and I can do that. And within that, it enables me to have the capacity to love the other, to love the world. It's powerful. It takes repetition. And with anything that you want to contact to that part of yourself that operates on this computer level self, your subconscious mind, it takes repetition. And it takes repetition with meaning. And meaning comes because you have feelings about it. Deep feelings about it will make it happen faster. Sometimes mantras aren't enough, and this Ho'oponopono process and this forgiveness and so forth, well, those has a mantra aspect if we repeat it. But what if we could raise our vibration in order to enter this state or function from the state of the Ho'oponopono? What if we could move our whole being into more coherency, where all the divergent parts feel like they're together? It's like looking at the rapids going down a river. If you look at one rapid, it's splashing everywhere. But if you could step back, you could see the whole pattern of the river as one. You could see its coherency. You could see that it has a higher state of flow, a unified state of flow where all is included. So you could do that with your chakras. The chakras are your energy centers that are integrated through different parts of the body. I can't say just the spine, but all things always gather themselves in the bones. Like if we want to stand better, put our foot on the ground, we want to know where and have a better relationship with gravity. It comes back to the bones. We have to heel on the foot on the ground, because the better we are on our bones, the better and clearer that ground force reaction of the gravity is going to be moves through our bodies. And it's the same thing then with the energy of the chakras. The more clear we can have them, the more energy can travel through them. So I map out my chakras every day, sometimes twice a day. And I do it with breath awareness, because breath is the movement of energy. So if I want to, let's just say I'm standing, I did this just as a dancer, I did this in my studio when I first started. I found a point, I put a piece of tape on the floor, and then I went and put a piece of tape on the floor in front of me. And then I would gather myself from that point, take a breath and go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, along that tape, and there was a piece of dot of the tape ended there. And then I would turn left, 2, 3, all the way, pause, and then go back to where I began from. So I had time and difference, and in referencing the space, and a certain amount of energy to get me there and to move me back. And then my task was to make it smooth and have it come back smooth. So then there was this feeling of compression and release as it moved through space, came to its end, paused, turned itself, paused, ready to go, gathered energy, extended the energy out into space, finish it and pause. Very simple. But it clarified my movement into space and back again. It's the same thing as when I played sports, particularly basketball, because you could actually see the corners of the court right around you. You could build up a box. You knew where the compression was to the sideline and back in. Because on football too, but that's a much bigger, expansive field. Going back to the river analogy, imagine your mind and breath as the flow. And there's disturbances with the rock where the water hits it. If you practice mapping in your body, it's like sending sonar out into your inner body, your connective tissues, your fascial living matrix, and interstitial tissues. And it's affecting your perception. Touching anything affects the flow. And so if I go to my root and I send my awareness out from the base of my spine out to the edge of my body, let's say, then when we begin to talk about energy rather than just the physical presence, the energy flows and your energy bodies extend beyond that. So if I extend my awareness out to the front, just inside my body, it feelings, how much can I feel? So many inches. And into the back, I've mapped out and sent out a sonar signal going, hey, is there anything in the way? Or is my flow easy? And if there is something in the way, I can just gently pulse and move through it. And then bring it back in. And if it's still there, I still move through it and all the way to the back. I do that to the right and the left. And then I go to the diagonals. I do it to make my interdimensional space full. It's circular. And I've sent light of awareness out there to move through anything that's stuck. And things that are stuck can all seem to start moving. Or it's like sending water over a craggy rock. And we relax times and a million years, and it becomes smooth. It no longer creates a big bouncing away. It just becomes smooth. Or actually moves. The rock moves. It's not the way anymore. And then you go do that to the next dimension, the next chakra, which is more emotional. It has feelings to it, but it can still have little tiny rocks. And you send your awareness with your breath and your feelings from the beginning to the end, out to the edge. You pause, you gather, and you let it come back in, and you begin to build up a compression and expansion and a radiance of energy, an electromagnetic energy in your field. And you go to the solar plexus, and you do it out to the solar plexus, and here you're touching different organs of your body, your liver, or your pancreas, and your spleen. You're traveling through these areas of physiology. It affects the way you breathe. So it affects the chemicals in there when they're aligned with new energy. And it's like clearing up the river and bringing it back into the heart, which is a whole different dimension than the first 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 are in the three-dimensional world even more so. In the heart, you actually move into a dimension of time and space that's different. But you're still going out with your conscious awareness out to the edge, finding a way to open it up, and your physiology is responding to it, and then you bring it back in. And you go through the throat and the fineness and new glands and new organizations. In each of the chakras, which is a different study, are different organizations of parts of our consciousness. You go through your throat and you bring it up now to the third eye. Now we're up into the center of our brain. We're into the middle of our cerebral spinal fluid. See the cave of Brahma. You start affecting neuropeptides. You affect the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. And we are able to actually put a flow into there. And they respond to that flow. And they start releasing chemicals of evolutionary consciousness of higher self-order. And it feels different. It creates a little buzz for many people, a vibrational buzz, a higher frequency. And these higher frequencies are oscillating and moving down through the fluids of your body, all the way over, stimulating inside and outside of your body. Then you go to the crown, now into the frontal lobe area. The frontal cortex, different chemicals, different releases, different expanses, different feelings, and also different gatherings of higher orders. Our imagination lives in this area. We can begin to charge up our imagination. And in that imagination, we can charge up the gift of forgiveness. Oh, I still feel that little glitch. in that memory, when I think about X, Y, Z, and that person, or that old poem, and here, you can give up your personality, give up to a higher dimension, erase that memory, the glitch in my conscious awareness now, please. Let that go and fill it with love and acceptance in a different vibration. When I look at that person, I look through that old memory and I see them more true to themselves. And I have a better, more true relationship. And I open myself up to acceptance and begin to believe differently. And I feed that to my subconscious. And I allow my subconscious to take on that command, that wish, that direction, so that it fills up my subconscious and my inner computer operating system with that perception rather than the old perception. And it has vibration to it. Old beliefs dissolve. Higher intelligence flows into your daily life. You are open to unlimited creativity and possibilities. For the here and now moment, while you're in this meditation, I'm offering right now a pay what you want healing session. I'm only going to do 5 sessions. For the first 5 people who step up and move past something that's holding them back into something new, who want to clear old patterns, who want to heal old hurts, who want a feeling of a renewed hope, who want to change your life at a cellular embodied level. And I'm doing this because I have been, in my daily practice, in my meditation, I've advanced to a new level in perception. I'm no longer just in the chakras that I've learned, like in energy healing school, which have a certain dimensionality. And they're kind of like, it's like being on the 3rd dimension of chakra awareness. But there's different dimensions to each part of the chakra awareness. So we got the 4th dimension, we can go to the 5th dimension, and then the field begins to expand way beyond the body. In fact, a sense of, and this what happens with people when they open up their cerebral spinal fluids in the cave of Brahma, they have an I am experience. I am that I am. I am all of this. I am this universe of perception. It's not something else of perception that's out there. It's me. And so my experience has just been going on. I'm reading about the ascension model, beyond ascension. This one's Joshua David Stone. And it's way beyond my personal experience. But as I tap into it, what's being described are experiences I've been having and building on for years. And now my map suddenly, it's like I've got a new telescope, right? The Hubble telescope 2.0. And they're my perceptions, nobody else's. And it's very exciting because the inner relationship and inner experience of my body and the vibrations is becoming very different, very full, very unanimous. It's hard to describe, but it's a bliss state that, 1, it's addictive, and 2, it's influential, and it's enabling me to see deeper into my own evolution, my own body, my own consciousness, my own self. And I know from past experiences as a healer what I do when I share this and dance with somebody else's, that becomes more available to them too. It's a direct transmission experience, one that lies in them already, but then with a little help and a little nudge, awakens up. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to feel strong and empowered and have techniques to help clear up things that are getting in the way. So that's my invite. 5 people right now, DM me, tell me that you'd like this. I'll send you a way to join. I'll send you a little, it's not an application, but it's a questionnaire. So I have a little bit more idea what's going on in your life and where you would like to go. And then we'll meet and vice versa. Thank you for being with me today. I hope to see you soon.